program that put forth all their effort, I think of Clayton. I mean, he's always been there to help, to show the way, you know. And that's to me, that's the main thing about this program, is one addict helping another, and he has done that in every sense of the word, and I will forever truly be grateful. But I'm not going to take up any more of his time. So without further ado, our speaker, Clayton Pettit.
My name's Clayton. I'm a recovering drug addict, saved by the grace of God. I guess I'll start with, I got to start how it was, what happened, and how it's like now. I'm from Oxford, Mississippi. I was born and raised in Quitman County in the Delta. My parents, we was medium-class family. You know, we didn't have much when I was growing up. I went to church when I was a kid, so I always knew God, but you know, the way it was at home was, you know, Daddy always hollering and stuff like that. So I tried to stay at my grandma's as much as I could. Because I knew I could get by with whatever I wanted to get by with at grandma's house. You know, grandma was alcoholic, so I got to run the streets and do my thing at, you know, a young age, 12 years old, running the streets and stuff like that. But I'll back up a little bit to when I was acted out in school. I had ADHD real bad, and then moved to Batesville when I was about 9 or 10, and the teachers decided that I needed to get on some kind of medication. So I kind of consider my addiction starting out about 10 years old when I got started on ADHD medicine, and it started from there. I guess about 3 or 4 years I did good in school. You know, it helped me concentrate and stuff like that. So, but then I realized what I was taking, I can make a little money off of it. So I started, you know, getting rid of it to kids at school and stuff like that. You know, just doing. So I started substituting, started smoking marijuana at 12, 13 years old. Let's see, move on up a little bit, you know, hanging around with the wrong crowds and stuff like that. Started, let's see, about 15, 16 years old. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, doing crystal meth and stuff like that, and move on up, 2004, I got caught cooking crystal meth and got locked up. And this program that I'm in now at the last house on the block, you know, I realized all the times that I was caught and I was put in jail or in prison, that God was there for me. He was trying to get my attention then, you know, and I just wasn't seeing it then. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to stop doing what I was doing, and you know, I just kept going. After I got caught then, I stopped for about 6 or 7 years. You know, I thought I was doing the right things, you know, going to work. You know, I got married and had a couple kids. By this time, I done got married and have a couple kids. And, you know, when my daughter was born, I got, you know, I thought I was doing right by working, you know, and providing at home. But that's what I learned from my dad, you know, how to provide, you know, and that's what he done. And it ended up coming back, and she ended up cheating on me because I was neglecting life at home. And that sent me into a spiral of doing cocaine and stuff like that. Said I would never do it. You know, I went to using the needle, and something I said I never would do, I started doing, and I went for a couple years doing them kind of things like that right there, and finally I think in 2012 I went to prison for doing them kind of things, and like I said, I look back and know that God was with me then, trying to set me down, trying to show me that there was a better way of living, and it's always been through him. And as long as I keep him first now, I know that he's got me. And from 2012 to 2014, I was in prison and got out and just did the same thing. You know, I was, you know, still running hard. 2000 and I guess 15 or 16, I was accused of something I never thought I would be accused of, and I was accused of rape. And knowing that I never would do something like that to somebody, and it being, you know, knowing people who it's been done to, and the person really done it, but then when it happens to you, you're like, wow. I mean, like, I couldn't believe it, you know. So I got busted. At that time, I got caught with meth on me at the time, and you know, they finally went back and forth to court, and it never come about because they didn't have no evidence. Like I told them, it wasn't no evidence, and that was another thing. God was just trying to show me that to sit down, follow Him, and I guess when I finally went to court and they dropped the charges on that, they immediately gave me drill court the same day. And you know, I got out. They let me out to make the money to pay for drill court, and I was all like, I got this. I hate them three words because Clayton never has it. You know, without God, I don't have it. And I kept saying that over and over again. You know, I was Facebook sober at that time, and I finally started working, and they ended up going right back out again. And luckily I, you know, was able to call, and a matter of fact, the day I was supposed to went to court, I got a call saying that a bed was opened up for me at the Haven House in Oxford, and you know, I ended up going over to Oxford, and when I did, they called drill court, and drill court said I never showed up to court. So they told me to just go back to town and go to court, you know, and I didn't. You know, I ended up having to turn myself in to the county jail at that time, and blessing that God was always looking out on me. You know, he always was, because I had 15 mandatory years over my head, and He saved me once again, like always, me not opening my eyes and realizing it. And I was able to start drill court and ended up, you know, relapsing a couple times after that, and they ended up sending me to prison to RRP program, which was one of the worst experiences of my life, because it was the same thing there as it is on the streets, and I didn't do nothing but do the same things I was doing while I was there. So when I come home, I ended up going not reporting, and they come to my house, and I told them exactly how it was down there, and they told me, that's what we want you to do. We want you to be honest with us. And I was able to go to court, and I come to the last house on the block, and that's been in 2019, whenever this happened. And I didn't do nothing, but when I come the first time, I didn't do nothing but mess up the whole time I was there, you know, and they never knew it. And I left in 2020, April of 2020, I left the last house on the block, going back and started back on drill court again. And while I was there, I went to meetings, and I went to meetings constantly, but I wasn't working the program. I didn't have that spiritual awakening like I did this time, you know, and I stayed dry for about 2.5 years. And during that time, I was working, you know, I thought, I was doing right, and I let the world take over again. I was going to church and stuff like that, and I was going to Bible studies, but I quit going to meetings. I quit I wasn't even working the program. I was just going to meetings. I was just there. And then I started going to the store substituting with Zaza's. And some of y'all probably know what that is, but it's something I would not want, you know, I'm glad it's banned in the state of Mississippi now. And they ended up putting it in the handbook for our drill court. And then our addict mind is going to think like, oh, well, they have to send it off before they know you're doing it. And that's what I constantly kept telling myself, and I was constantly doing it, and they finally did. They sent it off randomly. And and like I said, everything that happened, it's all God. God is always in everything. And I was able to go to court, and I thought I was going to prison because the judge said, anybody that gets caught doing this, you're going to prison. And out of 9 people, 7 people went to prison, and only 2 of us got the opportunity because the judge told me, I've seen the change in you. I've seen the person that you are. And anybody knows who their judge is. I didn't know who that judge was that day because I've never seen him talk like that. And it's all God because I prayed for him in the 2 months I was in that county jail. I prayed more for him than I did, definitely for myself, because it didn't matter about me. I prayed for him. And prayers work. God is, I mean, he's looked out, like I said, I'll say it again. He is the one person I do not want to let down ever again is God, because he's never let me down. He's always been there for me no matter what, you know, no matter what I've been through. I can look back now and see everything that he's been there for me for. And I got the opportunity, and I even prayed whenever the judge told me to find 3 places to go to for a year program. And I found 3 places, but I know I kind of applied it to where I give Billy Jordan the name of my drill court. I give them his number, or he gave him their number to call. And I prayed about coming back there, and they gave me the opportunity to come back to the last house on the block. And I got dropped off there last year, and this is how it is now for me. I dug in, I worked this program, I've had this spiritual awakening, and that when I say that spiritual awakening, I mean all the looking back and seeing what I said. I've seen God being there for me every time and saving my life, every time, from dying from the drugs I've done, the many times that I should not be here, standing here telling y'all that the only way of living is God. And since I've been here, I got sponsees. My sponsors got, you know, I got a sponsor. I got sponsee. I got one that's here with me tonight, you know, and the guys from the last house here with me tonight. I make sure that I stay grounded in church. That's the main thing, because if he died for me on that cross, and what would make me not believe anything that he says in that Bible be true? And I know that today. And I know tonight I'm coming up here, and I read one time that fear is mentioned 365 times in the Bible. And so that's enough for one fear a day. And we all have more than that probably sometimes in a day, but he don't condemn us for our fears. He wants us to rely more on him. And I know that I have to rely more on him, because, I mean, I fall short of that every day because, you know, I'm human. We're all human, and I have to know that he's the one that's going to get me through it. And then they say that he don't put too much on you that you can't bear. Yes, he will, because he wants you to rely more on him. He wants you to put it on him. I know I pick it up a lot. I'll put something down, but I want to pick it up. But, you know I can't pick it up. And, you know, I know that when I go back home, I know I'm going to be leaving in 2 weeks to go back home. And I know that there's a reason that I'm ready this time. Last time I wasn't ready to go home because I was messing up while I was there. So this time I'm ready to go back and be the light of God. You know I didn't speak very long, but, you know, that's what I got tonight, y'all. And I hope y'all can get something out of that.